Last week I did the garlic, the thin sliced garlic chips for the polenta, and so I'm going to do that again, and we'll start with that in the pan. I'm also thinking I wanted some garlic. I wanted the garlic chips as opposed to garlic um, mashed up because it will provide a little additional texture. And there's not going to be a ton of things in here other than the um, tomatoes and some pineapple and shrimp. So not a lot of additional textures, I guess. So I thought the garlic being sliced would be nicer. So that's why we're going that route. And all of this is just very ad hoc. I will probably, I might write up some kind of recipe for this. If it turns out okay, I might actually write a recipe for it. And if it turns out terrible, I might not. So we're taking a gamble today. Today's menu, today's dinner is going to be a gamble because I think it'll be good. It could also be a disaster. I don't know. Um, I'm hoping it's not a disaster, but it could be. I had what must have been the toughest corned beef the other day. It was edible, but I slow cooked it for 12 hours and it was still on the rough side. Even my girlfriend was like, what the heck? Yeah, that is a what the heck. 12 hours, that thing should have been liquefied. Uh, do you have any idea what the reason was? Like in retros, do you have any like retrospective ideas around why? I'm wondering if it was under salted or if the heat was too low. Uh, that's a weird one because you'd think 12 hours in a slow cooker. And beef doesn't get, correct me if I'm wrong. My understanding is beef doesn't get tougher if you cook it like that. I'm not sure. Snack of flavor. Welcome back. Welcome in. You're flipping through. Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, yeah, I don't have any idea what makes beef get tough in a slow cooker like that. That seems like it would be that doesn't seem right. Um, nice to see you back streaming. Hope you're in a better headspace this week. I am. I'm working towards it. I'll say it this way. I understand why I was not having a great week last week. A lot better. Uh, the situation hasn't improved, but my understanding has. So there's that. Um, did you take the temp of it? Maybe it wasn't cooked enough. Never had it happen before. Usually, if you slow cook any protein, it tenderizes the heck out of it. Yeah. So it's very disorienting for you to say that it got tougher. Was it the same piece of beef? Were there hidden cameras and pranks involved? Did you eat it anyway? And 2 pounds is not 2 pounds is not that big. You should be able to slow cook 2 pounds in 12 hours and have it just be a liquid at that point. I'm glad you're finding space to work through it. Yeah, it's definitely you know, it's the season. Seasons come and go. People have seasons of emotion. This is a season of um seasons of joy, Calvin says. Yeah. Last no. Last week was not a season of joy. It was just a season of something. Big Teddy, welcome in. I'm wondering if your crock pot wasn't hot enough or enough liquid. Just liquid maybe. Final temp was 200. Wasn't pickled properly. I don't know, but I wonder. I feel like this is a Big Teddy question. Big Teddy, any idea why a 2 pound roast wouldn't soften up in 12 hours in a slow cooker? Um, or corned beef. Sorry, I've thrown corned beef in a slow cooker 1,000 times. That's so disorienting. Thus, I imagine that was just extremely disorienting. We're just like, what is happening and why? 200 should definitely be fine. 200, you should be cooking. Uh, okay, garlic, grape tomatoes, a couple of these guys. A thin slice these, and I was gonna use just grape tomatoes, but then I saw this tomato has like a little spot on it up here, and this is a last week tomato, so I'm like, uh-oh, we got to use it. We got to use it quick. And we're gonna do grilled cheese later in the week with tomato slices, but that's only gonna be one tomato worth of slices. So I hope you find small spots of joy going forward. Yeah, for sure. And I just want to be super clear. Like the things that I am working through in a like mental health capacity are not related to like Gwen or Calvin or anything like specific like that. Home life and family life remains a very good light and anchoring point for me. So just like if anyone's actually concerned. If anyone's concerned, I'll say that as a like light disclaimer. Um, anyway, typical brisket, pickled corned beef, and cooking time is 12 hours at what temp? We said it got up to 200. Shane, I appreciate that. I was a bit concerned. Yeah, it's I feel like a a lot of people just have things that are weighing on them that they just don't talk about. I think I'm just more open about like, hey, I'm just not feeling great this week. Last week was a sad week. This week is not a sad week, although nothing has materially changed. So there's that. Um, I mean, I slow cooked some brisket 1,000 times. I've brisket in a slow cooker 1,000 times, and it made absolutely no sense. I, I'm perplexed, fellas. I don't. I feel like this is a. I feel like this is like a Reddit question, right? I appreciate the authenticity and being vulnerable. Happy to. Yeah, it's just, I don't want to be like, hey, I'm canceling stream because things are cool. I'm like, no, I'm canceling stream because I like want to eat pizza and watch TV and not speak to anybody. It was totally edible. It was just done. It just wasn't tender. Okay. As long as it was edible, that's a thing. The thing that has changed is how you are coping with whatever it is, and that is big too. Yeah, for sure. I feel like for me, it's like I'm like, I'm whatever. I'm having this feeling like let's figure out why, and then like once the why is available, it becomes a little easier to let the thing happen and like have it. Um, that's where I feel like that's where I'm at. Also, hi. Okay, this tomato is just going to get chunked out, so I don't need to cut this in any specific important way. Um, Perfect. Okay. Jaguar Germ, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Um, I can only think of one reason why that would not get pulled pork tender, and that is that the meat was bruised while it was alive or stressed out. Meat can keep hard if there are stress hormones or deep tissue injury. With stress hormones, I can imagine certainly, you know, I could see why there might be stress hormones. Um, and if there is, I just think somehow I got a super tough cut. I, But I'm curious too. Like, I'm be open. I'm very curious why that would be the case. If there's a bruise, it won't change the taste. It was stress, it will taste a bit different. Interesting. I know that stress, it's interesting when you talk about stress. I know that that's a big thing for fish. You can tell when a fish has been stressed. when you taste it. Want to eat pizza and not deal with anybody is my normal. Yes. Sometimes. I'm a social person, but I definitely need to recharge. AOE. Streets for saying that you're not a true anchovy and pizza enjoyer. Can you confirm or deny? Deny. I enjoy anchovies. I enjoy anchovies. I enjoy them on pizza. I will say that I don't make them on pizza at home because the other folks that live in my house would not enjoy them. Anchovies, Cal. Cal says he loves anchovies. I'm wrong. Uh, Another possibility now that I'm thinking a bit more is that you may have gotten a cut from a particularly old animal, like an old dairy cow. Interesting. Yeah, and none of those things you can change, and none of those things you would even know. Content alert. Here it comes. It's true. Um, I can confirm that I do not eat anchovies on pizza or anywhere else, with the exception of blitzing them and adding them to another dish. Yeah, they're great. I like anchovies. I like them in pasta too, actually. I bet an anchovy would be really good melted down in this dish. Now I'm wondering if I have them. I think I do. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure I have anchovies. It might be too fishy because it's going to have shrimp. Um, let's see. Anchovies in traditional Caesar dressing. Yeah, anchovies are fine. I make anchovies. I use them in pasta. I do use them in a couple dishes that I make uh, at home, and no one cares or says anything. I'm thinking about like the whole anchovy on the, on the pizza, which I'm fine with. I like anchovies too. I like any of those like whitefish things, stuff like that is so good. I use anchovy in a braised cabbage dish, melt it down, and then braise in tomato and gochujang sauce. I just got some gochujang this weekend. Anchovy is delightful in most things. Corey, agree. Smack of flavor, agree. I will also eat them out of the container. Yes, as one does. Okay, so let's drain the pineapple here. Ellie face, welcome in. I like the emote. Hey guys. Um, okay. Anchovies does bring a wallop of umami kick. It does. And now that I'm thinking about it, I might put anchovies in dinner tonight and just see what happens. Cal says, I heard that. I know, Cal. I put them in pasta. You won't see them. You'll just get the flavor. I'm I might. We'll see. I think it might be too much. I think the pineapple is going to be a very strong flavor in this. So I might skip. I'm probably going to skip the anchovies. I'm just chalking up as old tough cow. Yeah, I feel like that might be the case. I think Big Teddy had some good points around the actual cut and cut and age and treatment. Probably a couple of those. Blitz anchovies is one of the secret ingredients of my potato salad. Fancy. That sounds good. Let's see what I've got in here. Yeah, I've got sardines and sardines and anchovies. Maybe use some of these. Let's see. So what I'm doing now is just cutting up a little pineapple. This is going to go in the sauce along with some of the juice. What I'm trying to get is sort of like an al pastor taco almost, if that makes sense. Like a little pineapple, some tomato. Um, I've got some cheese and shrimp. So I'm going to put some fresh herbs on top. So I'm feeling like a, a an al pastor, like shrimp al pastor taco is sort of the flavor I'm going for here. but with pasta and not a taco shell. You know, seems seems reasonable. I don't see why it wouldn't work. So I added what, 3 slices of pineapple? Let's do 4. Let's do 4. Okay, 4 pieces of pineapple. So for my sauce so far, and this is just like the additional sauce. This is I have a thing of al pastor sauce that I'm gonna bring into this that I got. Um, this guy. So this is not enough to be a full-on like pasta sauce. So I'm gonna use a little bit of that as a marinade, and then a little bit of that as a as the sauce. Mostly the sauce. Hidden anchovy is my real big fish jazz cover. I love it. Oh man, real big fish. I haven't thought about them in several years. Ever made a castle roast? No. I have not. The recipe requires anchovies. It does not work without it. Yes. Um, I love that anchovies kind of tie things together. I am gonna put them in this sauce because it will they'll melt out and it'll be fine. I'm gonna put them in with the initial round of stuff here. So what I'm gonna start with on the stove is the tomatoes, the garlic in the garlic in the pan, um, and then the tomatoes, and then the pineapple, and I'll probably add a little bit of water. I'll add some water to that, and then no, I'm gonna actually fry the anchovies in first. So I'm gonna put the olive oil, anchovies, garlic, tomato, simmer, pineapple. That'll be the sauce, and then we'll cook the shrimp in that in the pot, and then we'll add the rest of the al pastor sauce to that once I've put the shrimp. Once basically like once I've marinated the shrimp and what I'm going to do, I'll put the rest of the al pastor sauce in the pot. So let's get started on this over here, because I want this sauce to just kind of start and get moving. Um, so let's go over to the stove real quick here. Okay. Whoop. And my pasta water is hot and boiling. So for this, I just want to do a good couple glugs of olive oil here. Just coat the bottom almost entirely. And then I'll let that heat for a second, get these anchovies ready. Oh, I have my fun fact of the day. I love it. Come at me with it. I like that idea. It's kind of different and kind of thinking outside the box. Having read that again, I think I read that already. Yeah, I was, Bellas, here's the thing. It's not Tuesday, so I didn't want to make tacos. And I wanted to make pasta instead. So I'm just like, I'll pesto pasta. Why not? Why not? Right? Why not? Okay, so this is nice and hot. So let's get I'm gonna drain these guys. And how many of these anchovies y'all think I should put in here? I am kind of just gonna put the whole thing in. How many is that? There's not that many of them here. All right, cool. Anchovies are in. Don't tell anyone. All right. I'm just kidding. Okay, so let's just get these in and broken up a little bit. They're tough to store out of the can. Yeah, for sure. There's no reason to keep them. They are because I can't foresee using them again in the next couple of days. So All right, these are in. Let's toss this garlic in now. Turn my heat down a little bit. Damn, it smells like fish in here. Yeah, these are already broken up to the point where you would not recognize them. That's what I love about anchovies so much. Make the ground meat musher. Oh my gosh, what a smell! What a smell! Let's put some let's put some pepper in here. Ugh, there we go. I refilled my pepper maker and it's like tight right now because it's so full. Mm, man, these are popping and they're hitting me in the face. Are they hitting the camera yet? They are. The camera is greasy. It's the whole thing. Like I can see little spots on the camera. Okay, this looks this looks good. Garlic is garlic is cooked to where I'd like it. Where's your protective eyewear? Well, we're just we're just winging it at the moment. No protective eyewear today. I wasn't cutting onions, so I didn't know if I would need it or not. All right, this is just going to cook now. Uh, wow, that is a huge chunk of tomato. Did I just not cut up a piece of this? I think I just missed cutting up some of this. Come here. Get out of here. Come here, bud. You need to get, you need to cut up. You can't go in there like that. All right, that's better. Good job. Okay, better. Now let's let this simmer. I turn this down a little bit. We're going to let this just meld together. I need to talk to you about tomatoes. I'm perfectly clueless about fresh tomatoes and which varieties you need for which kinds of things. You know the Philly food scene pretty well. I, 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 I know things about food. I know, like, what are you looking to make? Sauce? Because, like, I wouldn't, if I was setting out to make a good tomato sauce, for example, I wouldn't use either of the two tomatoes I just put in here. I would use uh, something else. I would use like Roma tomatoes or like San Marzano tomatoes or something a bit a bit different. Mhm. I'm always trying to do a sauce, but I don't want to do canned all the time. I I have to say I like canned sauce. I like sauce from canned tomatoes. I'm gonna put a little bit of this pineapple juice in here um, for a little extra flavor, and then I'm gonna put the this pineapple itself in here and let all that kind of mellow together. Okay, so this is going to be our the basis of our sauce, and to this I don't want to flavor this a whole ton because I'm expecting this to augment the al pastor sauce that I'm going to add to this. So I'm going to turn this up just a little bit to let that bubble, and add some salt. Add some salt here. Um, Ellie, I was just about to say for sauces, I kind of like canned tomatoes because of the consistency. I'm a big fan of the Jersey Fresh brand of tomato. Um, the new one that's come out that everyone's like hot over, the Bianco di Napoli tomatoes. I like a can of crushed tomatoes, crushed San Marzano tomatoes with no salt added. That's my favorite base for a sauce. If I am going to do a sauce from like regular tomatoes, I like a Roma Roma tomato because they are pretty juicy. They're not like super meaty tomatoes, so you're going to get a lot of extra juice out of them, which is going to make your sauce a little saucier. Nothing wrong with canned tomatoes. To be honest, I almost prefer the can because they taste like actual tomatoes, whereas the store-bought hothouse ones taste like nothing. Yeah, you have to get like a vine tomato, um, for sure. The ones that are there's like grape or plum tomatoes on the vine, it's like you can get tomatoes on the vine and there's like four or five of them. Those are almost always like flavorless and awful for sauce and in general, but for sauce specifically. Um, all right, that looks nice. A couple other things to prep before I roll out this pasta. Let's get that going. Um, and we'll leave that on the stove there, just kind of bubbling away, because I want that to reduce. And the goal is that all those tomatoes in there get really soft. Okay, pasta is still resting. Al pastor sauce is doing its thing over here. Um, I want to put in some corn in this, but these are my last frozen corns of the season. These are the last of the corn from last corn season. So these have lasted pretty well. We did a pretty good job getting getting through the corn this year, or rather, I did a good job spreading out the stored corn's usage over the winter time. Okay. However, this corn is still extremely frozen, so we may not get kernels off of this. Um, so maybe canned is probably the way to go forever, huh? I think that here's my thought. If you are seeking out to like, you can seek out good tomatoes. Like I would go if I was trying to make them from a sauce, I would probably go to the Head House Market on Sunday or like Rittenhouse on Saturday and just ask around, like just to the vendors, and like they'll let you try stuff. I think, not I think they will let you try stuff. And I would just ask and be like, what's the best flavor right now, and just use that one. And it doesn't matter which one it is. But I would definitely see like, hey, are these field grown or are they hothouse grown? Are they hydroponic or not? Like I will say the one knock against the farmer that I go to is they're a hydroponic farm, so a lot of their stuff is hydroponic, and the hydroponic tomatoes are not as good. They're just not. It's just a fact. These guys are pretty frozen. These years of corn. So unless you could get some great homegrown or small farm tomatoes that actually taste like something, yeah, even those ones on the vine from the store still don't have much taste. This is true. Yeah. Honestly, I like a canned tomato for a sauce because of the consistency. I love homegrown tomatoes. Really tempted to grow some. Heck yeah, do it. Ah, the part where I slice my fingers off. Okay, corn from one, corn from two. Oh my god, I got my fish names mixed up. The anchovy in the cans are usually sprat, but the actual fish anchovy is also known as sardelle, and which closely related, and while closely related, is not commonly used in the canned product. Interesting. Slightly tasteless and sort of watermelony. That is your hothouse tomato right there. This this is not a problem with my knife being sharp, Big Teddy. I want to say that right now. These corn are frozen solid. I know. Could also be partly the knife, but I am like sawing through this thing. I'm sawing through this thing. Okay, almost. The corn is sort of an afterthought today, which is why I didn't get it out earlier, which is why it's still frozen. So little about this meal. Okay. Corn for the season. Corn for last season is done. Mix, welcome in. Thank you for the lurk. Um, I would hit up a farmer's market. Yeah, I think I would ask, honestly, if I would figure out like, hey, I'm going to make them this, it's tomato season. I want to make something this week. And then I would just ask them and be like, yo, guys, tell me the deal. Um, and in the absence of any other information, I would say Roma tomatoes are my fave for a sauce. Where, oh, I put it in the sink. That didn't need to be in the sink. We're not finished with that yet. Anyway, when I make tomato sauce, I almost always go for canned tomatoes, Big Teddy says, and put some puree for more flavor. Using fresh tomatoes is simply not worth the extra work. The taste is not that much better. Yeah, because with the fresh, you do have to use like a food mill or something else to process them too. Um, if you don't want, the skins and the whatnot in there. Smack of flavor. I always freeze corn cobs, but never think to freeze a whole cob with the kernels. We say greenhouse here. Hothouse sounds for fun. Greenhouse works. Greenhouse works too. Smack of flavor. I froze these on the cob with every intention of thawing them and like grilling them midwinter and having like corn on the cob midwinter, which I never did. So take, for what it's worth, I did freeze them on the cob, but it's been mostly trouble because I have cut them off every time I've used them. So I might as well have just cut them off when I got them. But I did like freezing them solid. I did freeze them the day that I got them. So um, that is not the knife for sure. Frozen status. It might be a little of the knife too, but it's predominant. It's like 80%, 80 to 90% that they're frozen. Please don't slice your fingers off. They're not a delicious food additive. No, but they would go well with the red sauce and just pop the tips right in the pan. They'll be fine. I would have just bought and used cut frozen corn. Fellas, I thought about it and Gwen went to the store before dinner today to get some things, pineapple, and I asked her to get frozen corn, and if she'd have come home with it, I probably would have used that. They didn't have any though. Corey, enjoy your lark. Yeah, you have to scald the fresh tomatoes and skin and core them if you're going to make a good tomato sauce, which I just don't want to do. Yes. I like to make corn broth with the cobs and make midwinter corn chowder. Amazing. Yes. I made corn pudding with the cobs over the winter this year. It was amazing. You cook the corn in milk. You cook the corn in milk and then you use the milk. You don't actually use the corn cobs uh, for that. It's just like, here, cook all this corn in milk and then do whatever you want with the corn. So we ate it that night. Corn cooked in milk, delicious, delicious. Does this black match? I love that. Megan, welcome in. What nail color? This is orange. Orange, either orange sherbet or traffic cone orange, depending on which 7-year-old in my life you're talking to. Uh, I processed tomatoes exactly once for sauce. What a pain. Yeah, I was just thinking to myself right now that I was thinking like, oh, maybe I'll run this little like slop over here through the food mill um, to get some of the chunks out of it. I actually think I might do that because that would be nice. Um, Let me finish getting the other stuff together though. So garlic, tomatoes, and grape tomatoes are in there. Pineapples in there. Topping is going to be parsley, chives, and cheese. So let's get some of that out. Parsley and chives are in here. Cheese is in here. Shrimp, my shrimp, by the way, is thawing on the counter. You can see this little bowl right here. This has shrimp in it. It's going to be, I pulled it out right before stream. It was completely frozen. So I'm just giving it a good amount of time to settle into being not frozen, if possible. Okay. So cheese, parsley, and what else did I say? Chives? Chives? Let's put the cheese in there. Cheese, parsley, chives, then everything else. Everything else should be pretty much ready. Okay, immersion blender, that might work. That would definitely work. I don't think there's enough liquid in there to immerse. I don't think it would immerse very well. The liquid in there is less than an inch. Um, but that would definitely be a good option. I was only thinking of the food mill because we were talking about making sauce, and that's one of the things that one might use for sauce. Okay, cotija cheese. So I said I'm trying to make an al pastor pasta. So little of this type of cheese is just going to go on top instead of Parmesan. Ooh, this is a stinky cheese. I like it. Okay, what do they say? Cheese in here? Yeah. And this just gets crumbled. Whoa. This is a very crumbly cheese. Um, Plus Wi-Fi is actually working today. Isn't that amazing? Oh, 1 out of 365 ain't bad. Okay. A little cheese. I think that's probably a little bit more than that. Yeah. 'Cause I'll eat a bunch of cheese on top of this. And I have to remember this is pasta and not a taco. So there will be a need for more cheese. And they'll probably still want shredded Parmesan cheese on here, despite everything. So, all right, let's see. Give this a little stir. Yeah, I'm gonna put this through a food mill and just see what's up. Once I'm finished with this prep here. So, where is my? There we go. Sandwich bags. The drawer is fighting me here. Um, Pack this back up. Where am I at time wise? 18:26. All right, we're gonna be finished a little after 7 today, um, which is fine. Let's not add. I said I wanted to use the food mill. Let's not add any more to this after that. So if I say I want to add something else after that, someone be like, "Hey, don't do that." Um, all right, parsley and chive. A lot of chives this week. I had leftover chives from last week, and I bought some more. So we need to use chives in every meal this week. Big Teddy, enjoy your evening. Thanks for coming through. Dream of tomatoes. Yes. I hope your tomato dreams are bright. Okay. Start with the parsley. Start start with the parsley. Easy peasy. All right. So this is just going to be toppings. It's going to take a few minutes to roll out the pasta, but like kind of once I'm finished with this, it's a pretty easy timeline to the end of this meal because the shrimp is going to cook quickly because it's shrimp, and the pasta will cook in seconds because it's fresh pasta. So the only big thing left is rolling this out once I'm finished my prep here. And I hope that doesn't take too long. I decided I wanted to make like pappardelle style noodles today, like the big thick ones. I've been trying to make more. The last couple times I made pasta, I made like fettuccine sort of thickness, but I want like big thick noodles today. No particular reason. I was just thinking about them. I saw a recipe for totally unrelated that had pappardelle in it over the weekend, and I was like, "Oh yes, yes, please." So that's the motivation here. All right, sure. These couple pieces don't want to cut. They can just go right in the compost. All right. Last thing I said was running this through a food mill. So let's do that real quick, and then we'll toss it back in the pan. If anybody is, if anybody remembers the debacle with this thing last time, let's not bring it up. Okay, it's a very traumatic experience. So we're gonna keep that under wraps. Trader Joe's pappardelle is pretty good. I bet Trader Joe's many things are very good. Many Trader Joe's things are so good. Okay. I said I wanted chunks in here, right? I said like, hey, I want to get a sauce that's got like some chunks. But as I'm looking at this, I kind of don't. I want just the flavors, and we'll let the shrimp, and then I'll probably toss just a couple fresh pineapple chunks in here. Um, and then the corn. That'll be good. So let's just get the actual like solids processed out here. And this is a bit, like I said, this is a bit too shallow to use an immersion blender. If I was using a smaller pan, I could, but this is not quite the venue for it. All right. That's a little, there we go. Yeah. What I really wanted, my goal in this, for what was in this pot so far, was to have an additional bit of sauce to go along with the al pastor marinade that I already have. So I don't need this to be like a full on enormous pot of sauce. It just needs to be enough to augment the what I have, which isn't quite enough. So I'm trying to keep this. This is very tomato and garlicky, which matches the al pastor sauce. And otherwise, I'm trying to keep this pretty straightforward. All right, this is looking good. The amount of dishes you have to wash each night gives me anxiety tremors. Well, you know what, Fish Stick? You know what I do? I really try to use things that only use things that can go in the dishwasher. So my actual like level of dishes to wash most nights is pretty good to hand wash. I do a load the dishwasher. I load every day, and the dishwasher runs every day. Okay, this is good. So awesome. I've got all the solids are in here still, which is fantastic. I don't really even really want those. Um, and I've got a good sauce from all the juice and all the stuff that came off of that, which is what I was hoping for. Yes, that's really good. All right. And that's not too fishy either. Not too fishy. There's just I think there's like just the right amount of fish in here. What it could use is a little more pineapple. I don't think I put enough pineapple in. So I'm going to put a little more of that pineapple juice in here and put this back on the stove. I'm not going to turn the heat back on here yet because I don't want this to simmer down to nothing. I've got a good base here now, so I'm just going to let that sit here on the stove for a little bit. Cool, cool. Those pots and pans are and turny thing can't go in. The turny thing can't go in. The pots, I put the pots in there. I put this pot in the dishwasher. I don't know if you're, I don't know if you're, I don't know if you're supposed to put it in the dishwasher. They do. Things that don't go in the dishwasher are knives, um, knives and plastic things. So like all this stuff that's on the counter here, the only thing that won't go in is the knife and the cutting board. Okay, so sauce is good. Let's do this now. Here's what I want to do next. I'm going to get the shrimp ready. So this is just a bowl of shrimp that has been thawing. I'm going to get the, let's see, a clean bowl over here. Yeah. I just want to get this out of here and into a clean bowl. Let me take the tails off of this. We are, it's funny. I put this in here to defrost, and like it usually does, it froze into a chunk, but the shrimp itself is thawed. I don't dishwasher pots purely because they take up so much room. True. Sometimes I don't either. And sometimes that big pot, the pasta pot, I often don't put that in the dishwasher. But what I do with it is I will hand wash it and then put it in the oven. Like I'll leave the oven on. And I'll put it in the oven so it dries and doesn't take up room on the dish rack. It's the dish rack that's the problem. So I definitely do that. I do that with sheet pans too. Sheet pans, hand wash, dry in the oven. Those are the first things. The dishwashing routine starts with all the stuff that goes into the oven, and then the other stuff. And then when I'm done the other stuff, I put the stuff in the oven away. Okay, so we've got 15 shrimp here, something like that. What's wrong with being fishy? Fish stick asks. Sorry, I missed that one. Nothing. Nothing at all. It was good. I wanted it to be fishy. I put the Carla, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. I almost just tossed a good shrimp into my compost bin. But like this glass ball, dishwasher. So I don't mind using dishes as long as they don't have to be washed by hand. I think that's my sentiment about them. All right, so let's get this al pastor marinade on here. I didn't want to put this marinade on too soon on the shrimp because it has vinegar in it and it will start to cook the shrimp because it's seafood and that's what vinegar does. So I didn't want to marinate these for very long. So now I'm at the point where the only other thing I need to do here is roll out my pasta. So I am going to do that. First, though, I was thinking about the toppings here. And because this isn't going to have any pineapple chunks in it, because I just took them out, I'm going to cut up some pineapple pieces for the topping. And I was thinking about al pastor tacos and whether or not I should put avocado on top of this. So I have an avocado. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that would work. But I'm thinking about it. I'm still thinking about it. The thought just popped into my head again. Um, yeah, but back to the idea of the dishes, they definitely give me a bit of anxiety too. There are days when I finish stream and I like look over here and I'm just like, what an absolute disaster. But that's life. Okay. So all of that. Um, I wanted to cook the shrimp. I'm going to cook the shrimp in there. I'm also going to cook the corn in there. I might as well dump the corn in now. Yeah, I might as well just dump this corn in there now because it's all going to get cooked eventually. And I might as well just dump that in and let that start thawing. It was still pretty frozen. Last of the summer corn. Summer 2022 corn. All right. And that, I believe, will do it for my meats. That only took an hour and 40 minutes. Not really. I was doing other things. A little bit of butter. So a little bit of butter to finish the sauce. When we're right about towards the end. Okay. Good. Now, let's recalibrate. Add some of this to the shrimp, and then I'll add the rest of this to the saucepan. So just a little bit of this I want to put on the shrimp because this is going to cook in that same sauce anyway. So I don't really need to marinate this too much. And it will start to cook in this. So like I said, I don't want this to be in here for all that long. Okay, that's good. Now this, I'm just going to dump in with this. And we have an al pastor sauce. Now the color here should change a ton because this is just dark, dark, dark. Yes. Oh my God. All right. That is that is just enough pasta sauce, I would say. Perfect. Okay. While that is just existing over there, I'm going to roll out this pasta now because we need to eat. So let's change what we're doing here. Reset this counter real quick. Shrimp can go over here. This pan or whatever this is, the cutting board. It's not a pan. Can go there. And you here. All right. Let's roll some pasta. Let's make some pasta. Definitely need a bench scraper and good to go. Okay. I'm going to do this by hand as we've been doing because it is it's easier to control, and I actually find it to be a little quicker. Wow, this is nice. Here we go. Okay. I just unscrew this a lot. And so it's like, there we go. Okay. Good. Good. All right. Things that I need. I need a cutting board to cut the noodles. I need a knife to cut those noodles. I need some flour for this. And I need my pasta dough. Okay, pasta dough is going to get cut into 4 pieces, and then we're going to roll. Oh, I also need a sheet pan. What are you guys talking about dishes? I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't use hardly any dishes. What do you mean? Uh, just kidding. Use a lot of dishes. Sheet pan. So can be for the fresh pasta once I'm finished with it. And then this guy needs to get cut into 4 relatively equally sized pieces. They've never actually been equally sized, but they are, uh, you know, 490. Okay, so that's not that's there's a decimal in there. 122.5. Okay, so I want 122.5 grams per piece. Okay, how's this? 126. Perfect. 125.5. All right. 120 and 118. Okay, so we've got Couple that are under, two that are over, two that are under. All good. Let's wrap up these other ones while we're working on the first one so that they don't dry out. And then I will roll out the first one here. Okay. These are looking good. These are looking good. The feeling I like the consistency of these. I let them sit. They sat for a little longer than half an hour, and they're feeling pretty good. The dough is starting to. It feels very smooth. I really like. This is looking pretty good. Okay, so we're just going to get started here with first one, and flatten this just a little bit so we can get it through the first round. And starting with a one, one's looking good. Don't need that anymore. And let's go through again with a one. How are we doing? Perfect. One more fold. Some folding this and then putting it through. Folding it in thirds and then putting it through the one. All right. That's good. One more round through of that setting. Oh, cool. All right, let's go. Let's go flatter. Go for a two. There we go. Two. Two looks good. Three. Four. Five. Yeah, these are getting longer. So five. This goes up to seven. I think I'm going to take this one to. I'm going to take this one to six because I like a thick noodle. I like a noodle with some bite to it, some like toothsome. A very toothsome noodle is my preference. So we're going to get some good noodles out of here. All right. Six. So this is going to be, let's do two things of noodles. Three. Let's do three. Three sheets of noodles. A little bit of flour on here. Right. Flour and then, hello, Glenn. And then we're going to cut these up into thick pappardelle style noodles. And set these over to the side. So big, thick pappardelle type noodles. Right. So one sheet down, three to go. These are a lot thicker than the ones I've been doing. So these are like big, chunky. This is one noodle. So you're actually going to end up eating. I'm going to end up eating a lot less noodles, not numerical wise, but I like these style noodles. They're good. They're fun And when they cook too, they puff up even bigger. So they're like these huge chunky noodles. Okay. These are all good. I'm unfolding these. I'm going to toss them together with a little additional flour, and then we'll move on to the next round. So it's definitely been getting easier. Pasta, I think in general, I've made a couple times on stream now, and it's been getting, I would say, getting easier, the whole process, and better. So let it be known that practice is helping. Okay, so the big one, pile one.